Molten Z here. What I have is a Necromancer build that uses Death's Bargain to make life per second its primary damage dealer. I call it Death is Blind. I'm using the Blind Faith helmet to give over 30% chance to blind. I'm using the Sultan of the Blinding Sands for another about 30% chance to blind. I'm using Bane of the Trapped to cause a slowdown, and the idea was to trigger both of the special affixes of Crispin's Sentence. That would be you deal about 100% increased damage against slowed enemies, and triple that if they're hit by two effects. So the point was that blind was supposed to be the second effect, and being with those large percentages, you would get people blinded often. There was. Well, let's just get in the game and I can show the gear off. That would be the best. Now, in order to enhance my life per second, you want to have the life as low as possible to get the maximum benefit from Rogar's huge stone. Yeah, so increase your life per second based on your missing life. Well, let's just make a bunch of missing life. You see here, I'm using Death Nova to take my life down. Now, life per second's 365,000, mostly based on this. We've also got Molten Wildebeest generating a bunch of life per second. We got the Boots of Disregard generating a bunch of life per second. And now we can do this to, apply the curses and deal more damage. So here's the Crispin's Sentence, the Bane of the Trap. I'm using this for defense, and it almost never is needed. I can almost get off the cheat death passive. But yes, of course, I told you about the Blind Faith. Now, Shimitsu Hori is up 100%. We have 100% of the time, 100%. I just put this on just to show it. Now this Decrepify, so we have Decrepify. That was what I'd consider the best Decrepify. This increases my life per second, and this will stack up to 20, and you want to hit that 4 key quite a bit, get that up. This increases life per second, plus I'm getting the amulet that increases the stacks up by 5, so we can get this to 15 times. And between the 1 and the 4 key, you can get a lot of life per second, and I can get this number here over 1 million. Toughness is also over 1 million, and I'll just show you. Okay, so we're at T10, which I calculate is equivalent to T16 with the LoN bonus applied. So let's just jump in. Yeah, so initially, initially you're just trying to get your bone armor and your Death Nova going. Grab a bunch of these guys. Grab a bunch of these guys. We got 13. There's 15. Alright. So now with this is the swinging of the axe stacks. I gotta hit somebody quick. Alright. Back going. 12 up. That's 20 different guys. Remember that. Let's get over here. I lost my stacks on. So, looking at the details, we're not quite a million, I'm at 700 something.
That mission charge.
There's 800. There's 9. There's a million. So, life per second, get into that. And pretty unkillable with all that life per second. But he's not getting it directly. He's getting it from life. Getting that life extra life. So this is equivalent to T16 with the LoN. It's not really a T16 build. Would need something more. I would say some kind of gloves supported. Would probably be best. Everything else useful to build. Gloves is just an extra pass. I'm not benefiting from the good chance to be honest. So the damage caused by Death's Bargain is not benefiting from the bonus from loading. That would be nice if it worked. You know, the weapon choices are not 100% needed. I'm just sitting here. I mean, they're not doing a lot of damage, and I got this shield. Not after putting that shield. It's over a million. That's basically my life. It's equivalent to having a full globe. So it's pretty good. And you gotta crit like 100% crit. So you know, if you want to build, this is a build that's 100% crit chance. Might be able to leverage that for something else. Death Nova seems to be doing most of the damage. But, yeah. So.
I need to go back.
I'll run through here really quick here. Yeah, let's get rid of that. Oh, I forgot to put in the vitality. Well, I was just running with no Paragon there. That was embarrassing. So, then my life would have been doubled. That just makes it so you can have more life and still have that 100% up here. That's about it. Alright, so, follower gear is standard. I'm going through this really fast. Follower gear. Alright. Do not want heal, because that you'll be fighting it. Regeneration, you know, that's the life per second, that helps. Okay, and then, yeah, this is just, you know, essence, so that I can actually have essence coming back and stuff. So, let's go over to the wardrobe. That's probably the best place to do this. Ding, ding. Oh, it's up here. So, we have Blind Faith. Okay, there's 39% chance to blind on hit. We've got the Cheat Death shoulders. We've got protection gloves, aura. I've showed this, the Bane of the Trapped, and this deals more damage. I don't think this is actually being used in the build. It would be nice if it were. There's a, you know, chance to slow and chance to blind. That's specifically to trigger Crispins. There's the regeneration. There's the damage dealer. This is damage reduction. Crit chance 100%, not really being used. Of course, we did that already. This increases my bone armor stacks up, and bone armor is, I believe, yeah, reducing my damage as well as increasing my life per second. So that's part of my damage reduction and life per second. This will affect Death's Bargain's damage because it makes the enemies take more damage. Yeah, that life per second gem pretty much required for the build. Now this Grim Scythe was initially...
I've got some brand new goods you
That's
might be
weird.
interested in.
Oh. See, here.
Don't you miss me?
Another option
Just a little?
for this build is to have... Where is that one weapon? Yeah, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it. Not it, not it, not it, not it. Well, where did I put this? Yeah, I'm organized. Come on, it's a two-handed Necromancer only weapon. There it is. Every point of essence generate increases your damage by 0.5. You know, I decided, you know, it's nice, but I'm not really using bone spikes. So this and this synergize together, and you can't get these bonuses in the queue. So that's why I went with that. Now, when I had this wielded, then I had a shield that did more defense. Probably could pull that up really quick. Yeah. Not doing it quick. Oh, it's an offhand, so it'd be here. Duh. There it is. Takes 60% less damage from blocked attacks, and I had a good shield that was, you know, doing 31% chance to block attacks. And we don't really care about attack speed. Yeah, nice little build using blind and Death's Bargain to try to proc Crispin's sentence, but it didn't quite work. So instead of Bane of the Trapped, if that's not working, this is a good one because it increases all your defenses. And you're always below 25% life in order to get this triggered, so this is 100% uptime, which is, you know, works. But I don't really need the defense, so I took it off. And there's a couple others. Like this will actually increase the damage they take, but only 10%. Each attack you make against the enemy increases the damage from your attacks. If it was just damage from all attacks, then this would be a good weapon for this build, or a good gem for this build, but it isn't. So I'm pretty much stuck with healing received bonuses from this gem, and increased damage against enemies under the effects. See, I think this is still only affecting my damage, not the Death's Bargain. So, what Nevalistis, that would be Brandy Camel, what she asked for was, is there a class fantasy you feel isn't very fulfilled right now? Well, so the fantasy about this is that this is, you know, a necromancer who's just an aura of death, and everything around him should die, and it's just not viable because it's the pants that are dealing the damage. It doesn't benefit from any of the things that say your damage is being bonused. So this, if the pants could be changed just slightly so it's you deal damage, or you have an aura, and the aura is your damage, then it would benefit from things like Crispin's. And then this would be a much more well, you know, it's 300% more damage plus the 45, so 300% is 4 times, and the 45 is 1.45. So, you know, that would greatly increase the damage, plus other gems like Bane of the Stricken would then be useful. So I envision this kind of like the Thorns build, where you know, the Thorns are doing the damage. So, I guess that covers it. You know, the philosophy of what goes in the cube. You know, you could put Furnace in, but I still think that that's only going to give you more damage from your attacks. And I've seen set build that used Rathma's set to enhance the bone armor damage, and then the bone armor is primarily doing the damage, not the life per second. Not, that's just additional damage that they were doing. But yeah, shut off the life per second, shut off the healing. You can always have 100% crit chance, and then the bone armor was doing a massive amount of damage. But this particular build is very hard to kill, which is one of the reasons why I went with this. So yeah, submitting this as a season 17 LoN Death is Blind build, or Death's Bargain build, depending on how you want to, think of it. All right, that's it. I'm done. I hope that was enough of a demo for everybody to see what kind of thing it is. I'll post a link to D3 Planner that shows the actual gear that this guy is using, and then you can see where all the numbers come from. All right, thanks for watching my video. I appreciate it, and have a good day.